Good evening, my darling batlings.
Somebody give me a hand or a foot. How about a pelvis?
So you're saying you want French toast?
So you're saying you want to be a one-handed, one-footed head on a crotch.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
That is how all of those would add up.
I mean, fair.
I just thought pancake, French toast, and waffle.
Can you tell that we're hungry?
The thing is, I technically have eaten, and I just had 2 bags.
I've eaten too. I had some mozzarella sticks that were still nice and gooey before they had solidified.
In case anyone's wondering, I had me some smoked grilled chicken, and it was so juicy. Like, oh.
I mean, I had a couple of eggs and some string cheese for a snack before they started the drink.
So anyway, I'm on my PS1 Scrimblow bullshit again, and I'm making it everyone else's problem. We're doing Brave Fencer Musashi tonight.
Oh no.
Which I'm glad that I still have my physical copy of Brave Fencer Musashi, because that game is so expensive now. Because Square has just seen fit to never re-release it outside of Japan. Like, it's on Japanese PSN, but it's not anywhere else.
I think I either bought your one of your other copies, or you gave it to me, I think, right?
I gave you one of my old copies, then I got a new copy, and I got it autographed by one of the voice actors, which I'll go into later. Because this game has quite the recognizable voice cast for a late 90s video game, which was not the norm at the time.
Yeah. That also came with Final Fantasy VIII demo, I believe.
Yeah, it came with a demo of Final Fantasy VIII because Square's tactic at the time for the PS1 generation was to garner interest in otherwise obscure games by packaging them with demos for the upcoming Final Fantasy releases. Famously, the often forgotten Square Enix fighting game Tobal No. 1 came with a demo of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that legitimately boosted its sales.
And I remember past life stuff. We talked about the demo of Final Fantasy VIII, and we talked about the differences from the original game.
I would say you talked about it rather than me, because I've never played Final Fantasy VIII. I've only played that bit of the demo. And the demo, I would say, is not very good, because it doesn't do a good job of explaining the mechanics.
That's the base of the game, but once you understand, you can break it.
But, yeah.
It's complicated.
Brave Fencer Musashi is it's got an interesting development story where it was, like, planned as basically Square Enix's answer to The Legend of Zelda, with a Musashi being based on the legend of the samurai Miyamoto Musashi. And the recurring theme of the franchise, which it only got one more entry on PS2 that was mediocre. We'll get to that when we get to that. The idea was that, like, in each game, a different fantasy world would summon Musashi from our world to save their world. And it would be a different incarnation of Musashi each time. Just like how every Zelda game has a different Link.
You basically... You know, when it comes to the thought process, right? Sony had a few games like that. Cause you could even argue Klonoa was something like that.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, this was a, if the art and character designs look pretty baller to you, especially like the monster and mech designs, the character designer for this game was Tetsuya Nomura, which, like, he was already a prominent monster designer at the time. He found his breakout success in terms of, like, expanding the art he did with Final Fantasy VII. And for a while before Kingdom Hearts, but after Final Fantasy VII, he was Square's go-to artist.
Yeah. Again, he has some really interesting designs when it comes to characters and monsters.
Oh, there's some cool design choices that are made for specific characters in Brave Fencer Musashi versus the rest of the NPCs that help differentiate who is from the in-game world and who has been summoned to the world. And you can easily tell mostly from their concept art, because all of the characters from the fantasy world in this game do not have noses, but Musashi and another character who gets summoned later in the story have noses.
Oh. That's genuinely interesting.
Also, that's some Musashi music playing right now. It's the main theme of the game. And the music was composed by, oh god, I can't remember his name, but Final Fantasy fans might recognize him as the composer for Advent Children.
Yes.
But yeah, let's stop yammering on about the history of this game and get into the game.
So
And I'm emulating this just because I don't feel like saying up the PS1.
That's fair.
I got the name. Tsuyoshi Sekito.
Tsuyoshi Sekito, yes. This was like one of the bigger games that he composed for at the time.
Yeah. Another prominent one that they worked on was Last Remnant in 2008.
Yes. That one has an interesting story just to its localization, because that was a Nintendo Wii exclusive JRPG that Nintendo of America did not want to localize until the end of the Wii's life. It was part of that whole Operation Rainfall movement alongside what's it called? Xenoblade.
I might have Last Remnant.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
And yes, the title screen says Brave Fencer Musashi Den, which is the Japanese title. Musashi Den being a play on words that basically means Legend of Musashi. And if that voice sounded familiar to you, that is prominent American voice actress for a lot of anime and cartoons and regular cast member for South Park, Mona Marshall.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Mona Marshall in
Let's do it.
two separate cartoons that I watched as a kid.
Yeah, this was 1 year before she was in Digimon.
Yeah, Digimon was one. She was the voice of Izzy in that, but then she was also the voice of Batsai, the water demon from Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff. There's a lot of prominent anime and cartoon voice actors in this game, which is surprising given the standards of video game voice acting at the time.
There does be no effect. They shall find it out whereabouts soon.
I love this guy, Stuart Ribson. He is the only guy in the game that speaks in ye olde English.
Like, why is the
I don't know why he does, but he does.
Does this mean
It is eminently necessary that you perform Hero Summon.
So I just found out she did some stuff in South Park.
Oh,
Yeah, she's the voice of Kyle's mom.
the lovely and
I didn't
handsome
know that.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
And the princess in this game is Sandy Fox, who's also another, not as, like, high build, but still pretty recognizable anime voice actress, mostly for 90s and 2000s stuff.
Now, summon.
Hyperdimension Neptunia fans will recognize her as the voice of Pishi / Yellowheart.
Also, Inside Out fans would know her as Mom's
This will
Disgust.
do. It must have been too large of a task for the princess.
I know that's kind of left field.
Hey, wait! Like, do you think I'd actually make a mistake? Have you guys seen the real Sir Musashi?
Wait.
No, we
She
haven't.
did the main
Then
character
maybe the
from
real
Frozen
Sir
Maiden.
Musashi
I didn't
is
know
this
that.
puny little thing.
That is not Amy. That is Sandy Fox. She has not voiced Amy yet. She'd be a good choice for Amy. But I can see the comparison. She sounds a lot like Adventure 1 era. Adventure 1 and Adventure 2 era Amy, which was, if I remember correctly, her name was like Jennifer Duyard or something like that.
The name's Musashi.
Also just like, please, princess, sir little turd, calmeth down.
Oh my god.
Hey, Dash Cat.
I have some interesting information now for Mona.
Yeah.
It's too much of a chore for this little lad.
She did the voice of Azure Kite from
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was also Kite in the original Dot Hack series.
What do you guys want?
Yeah,
Let
I'm
me go
super
home.
excited about
I'm
that
busy, you know?
information.
Can someone get
Also, it was Hama
You've been summoned
and
to save our
Testalea
world.
and Air
So you
Tolizo,
can't
which
go back
not
to
many
your
people would know
world
about.
until you save ours.
Yeah, needless to say, Mona Marshall's had literally hundreds of roles. You'll also hear Steve Bloom as a prominent character in this game.
Oh my gosh, another Digimon thing, Terriermon.
Yep. And you'll also hear Mansex himself, Paul St. Peter, the voice of Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2,
Oh my god.
as the voice of the main villain, Pierre Flatsky. And I got his autograph on my copy of this game.
Nice.
He gave me the stink eye and was like, "You're not gonna sell this on eBay, are you?"
Please take this with you. It's called fusion.
Also, I know let's say it, but hi, Dash Cat.
He also for another Digimon connection. He not only voiced Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts and the main villain of this game, Kira Flatsky. He also voiced Wormmon.
Oh, by the way, the game audio is like almost matched perfectly with your voice, so it's drawing it out slightly.
So you're saying not to change any settings?
No, it lower the game volume a little bit. It's like,
Okay, that is the opposite of what you just said.
That's Luminous.
if it's perfect, you want to be over the game
We
volume.
want you to go to Spiral Tower, which is like
When you say
right
something's
behind the
perfect,
castle.
that usually means
Sword
don't
of
change a thing.
Luminescence, Lumina is on
No,
the
it's-
roof. That note will show you how to
Yeah.
get there.
I keep forgetting that Duck Station on Xbox is louder than actual PS1 is.
And the 5
Ah.
scrolls. And if you're the real Musashi, you can get
Yeah, I'm
Lumina.
surprised
We're counting on
with
you,
how many
you know?
voices Mona did.
Huh? Ripson?
Like, I had to
Where's
back off that
Musashi?
page.
She also voiced Lucamon in Frontier.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there's a lot of Digimon connections in Brave Fencer Musashi's voice cast. These character models is a slightly higher poly than the average Final Fantasy VII character. They also had the same character designer, Tetsuya Nomura, who you would probably know for creating the Kingdom Hearts series. This was before he was a director, but he was Square's go-to designer after doing all the character designs for the main cast of Final Fantasy VII. So this is like, a lot of people compare this to Ocarina of Time, which I feel is not really fair because they were in development at the same time. And Musashi came out a couple months before Ocarina did. This one's more of like an action RPG as opposed to an adventure game, I would say.
Yeah.
You start out with just weapon, which is your katana, Fusion. It's called Fusion for a reason. We'll get to that. Nomura was in a lot of Square Enix stuff, character design-wise. Yeah, he started out as a monster designer for, I believe, Final Fantasy V at first, before graduating to main character designer for 7, and then, you know, being one of their go-to directors starting after Kingdom Hearts. He even directed the sequel/spiritual successor to this game, Samurai Legend Musashi, on the PS2.
It's too far to jump.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Brave Fencer Musashi like in your top 5?
Hey, I
It's
know.
one of my top 5
You
PS1
should
games,
take
I know
his
that much.
abilities.
And I have a lot of nostalgia for this game in particular because I was introduced to it through a demo disc I had. I would play that demo all the time, and it wouldn't be until like 2000 I got my hands on a copy when I went on my very first trip to EB Games, which is now GameStop. I don't even think that particular GameStop is there anymore. But yeah, this was one of the first games I ever bought at a video game store. And yeah, the reason that the sword is called Fusion is because you can charge up your meter by holding the R1 button, yeet it at enemies, hammer on the square button to drain them, and then you copy their abilities. Sort of like a Kirby thing, except
What a cinch.
you're limited by that green meter underneath your health as your Bincho meter, which is basically, for all intents and purposes, a magic meter. Except it doesn't just serve for magic. If it gets too low, not only will you not be able to use copy abilities, which you can only have one equipped at a time, you'll also start to grow tired and move more sluggishly and deal more, less damage.
Ah, that's really creative.
Yeah, there's a lot of voice acting in this game. Every character in this game, even if it's just for their introductory dialogue, has at least one spoken line, which is really impressive for this era of video game voice acting.
Yeah.
Like, even characters that you can go the whole game without speaking to once have at least one voice line of dialogue. Even the shopkeepers have voice dialogue.
Hey, something's under this statue. Give it a stomp.
The music, the music arrangement is pretty good too.
Yeah, this game makes a lot of use of recurring motifs in its music. With the main melody of one of the main melodies of Musashi's theme being a recurring motif throughout a lot of tracks in this game.
Leave it to the person that likes music that actually works a little bit in production to pick this stuff up, right?
Also, just yeah, this is all more or less MIDI music because it's not real instruments, obviously, but good synthesized instrument quality for the time.
Very good.
At this time in video games, you would often get very fake sounding orchestral synthesized music, which, like, the samples they used here were fantastic.
I really like the use of the camera movements right here. How they make it look bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah, the camera in this game can be problematic in certain places, but it's good at conveying like a sense of scale, even if the actual scale of the thing you're climbing up isn't that big.
And thank you, Dash.
Like, it really makes you feel like you're a little guy in a big world.
It really does. And thank you, Dash Cat. And I'm not ashamed about it. I just like hearing things from different genres. I just love music in general. Like, I will fully admit, I'm fully amateur.
So, remind me, what is the name of the enemy faction again?
The Thirst Quencher Empire. There are a lot of food and drink puns in this game. Just part of its charm, in my opinion. It doesn't take itself, like, way too seriously. Like, the kingdom that you're trying to save is called All You Can Eat, spelled all as one long word.
The reason I'm asking is because it certainly seems like the Empire seems to have invested quite a lot of money in upgrading serve bots.
I mean, if you look at the concept art for these guys, they're supposed to look like pigs. Or at least with their helmets on, they're supposed to look like pigs.
Okay, I can see it now. I see it, like, just by watching that one guy climb up the
Yeah.
thing.
Like, canonically, like, in story, they don't delve into the lore very much. But you can find, like, some lore notes in the in-game library that says that their soldiers have been enhanced with Bincho energy that sort of mutated them to make them stronger.
Whoa.
Another thing is, I think I've been we talked about Brave Fencer Musashi before, and I think I may have been inadvertently inspired by Brave Fencer Musashi.
This right here is probably my favorite usage of the copying mechanic in this game, because you can't grab the sword Lumina without having this thing pressed down. How do you do that? Well,
I'll say fuck.
you don't fuck. I would not recommend fucking Musashi. He's most likely underage. You assimilate stun from one of these red guards. Each enemy has a specific ability that you get, and it's easy to remember who gives you what. Then you lure one of the guards over here. Come on. Come here. Come on.
That's why you're doing that. Dash Cat.
Stun him, and then you stun him, and then you can grab the sword.
Nice.
Who was the composer of this game? Tsuyoshi Sekito, who also did the OST for Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the movie. And yeah, that's your second sword that you get, Lumina, the Sword of Luminescence, which is used for your heavy attacks. This was one of the demo levels that was in the demo that I had. So it lives rent-free in my head.
I also I typed that out for Dash Cat also, so they have it.
Also, if you put the game disc into a CD player, you get this track that plays, the chase music from this sequence.
So it's like a Castlevania Symphony of the
A
Night.
lot of PS1 games would have at least one song that would play if you stuck it into a CD player, just due to how the CD-ROM format would work. Certain games would have the entire OST as something you could just stick into a CD player and listen to. But not many of them. Some of them, like Symphony of the Night, would have exclusive songs that you could only hear by putting it in a CD player.
Which is really awesome, by the way. And a few things, I love how it was basically 1-for-1 where you came up.
You start by running down the side of the building, and then you run back through the path that you went there through.
Yeah, it is 1-for-1, which
I'm Rude Trick, and you're...
Now, I don't know why they gave him a hillbilly accent, given that, as we'll see, his father sounds like a stereotypical Nazi. Although now that I think about it, it kind of does make sense.
I'll get this little lady in exchange.
Yeah, right. You wish, pal. Let go of the princess.
Y'all being fooled. Them there flames can't be put it out easily.
I think I know why they went with a country accent.
It might have something to do with, like, maybe he spoke in, like, a certain dialect in Japanese.
Hokkaido, most likely. Hokkaido is seen as the country bumpkin from what I remember in a lot of media. And no problem, Dash Cat. But I'm pretty much just guessing. But again, it's information I get from other YouTubers. But
Musashi, just hurry up and bash this hunk of lard. Ugh.
Aw, shucks. Shut up, you dumb gal, or else y'all gonna get a licking. See y'all later, Musashi.
Now, that's a line that I have to call out Some Call Me Johnny for, because he didn't know what get a lickin' in that sense meant. because he's not from the South, that is a Southern as hell turn that means I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
I mean, I kind of gathered that.
Going with grandparents.
He took it as he is going to lick her.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I probably would have thought that. But even though I've never actually lived in the South, I've been to the South several times.
I'm aware you've been to the South.
No, not just by visiting you, Ari, but I've actually been to the South.
I'm not even
Texas.
just talking about visiting me. You've been to Oklahoma.
Yes, and I've also been to Texas.
You,
Just
Texas.
My grandparents grew up.
My grandparents
in
used to
West
live in
Virginia.
Texas, and it was the most boring place to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, so my grandparents were born and raised in West Virginia. That's why I know about that phrase, switch, all that.
This is also a part of the game that was in the demo. The demo lets you choose 3 little slices of the game to choose that separate into easy, difficult, and hard. Easy, medium, and hard. This was the easy one, was running from the statue head and then fighting the steam knight. Medium was a part 3 early into the game where you have to get to the top of the mountain while collecting logs to build a raft. And then the hard one was a part from chapter 2, which was like a segment of one of the dungeons in the game.
Yeah, they worked in the metagame, but I didn't know about Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, he worked on Chrono Trigger, he worked on Mana. I think he worked on the Saga games, like a lot of Square Enix projects. And he's still with Square.
Yeah. That was Bob's cooking store. Oh no.
Cooking store as opposed to restaurant.
That was Sally's library. Oh no.
This is like saying cooking store instead of restaurant comes off to me the same way as like when Squiscar in the first episode of Metalocalypse tried to describe a grocery store and he calls it a food library. This is, I think, Sam's called food library.
Let me guess, the car repair takes to be a room fixer.
I did not make out a word of that.
A room fixer. Would be
Get ready for the coup de grace.
Hey, you forgot something!
Also, just how fucking strong is Musashi?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That's what you get when you're trying to mess with me! Oh, almost forgot. I wonder
Is it
if
weird to
they
think that
really
Musashi and Dante would have a really fun rivalry?
Yes.
Oni-chan,
Thanks for the head pad, even though it went to the wrong place.
I'll let you hold my hand and we can do other things.
It's trying to track my head, but my head's like facing downward.
Damn head, now stop choking me!
Your head patted the chest.
Yeah, I would say feel lucky, but then again, depends on your definition of lucky that I'm not using my Maxine model.
I was just gonna say, it was like, too bad you're not using the Maxine model. That would have been
Yeah.
hilarious.
The duality of man. Is it lucky or unlucky to accidentally pat massive booba on a VTuber?
Yes.
By the way, I did a bingo challenge with my VTuber design on Blue Sky like a month ago. And I did it for both of my primary designs, one for this model and one for Maxine. And I did not get bingo, but I had the exact same
Where is
places
this
marked on
place?
both of them, except I had one extra place marked on Maxine for massive booba.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, literally the only
Sir
difference in
Musashi,
their
thou hast a
aesthetics
weakness.
other than the literal outfits
Hey,
they're
geezer.
wearing is
Wait,
Maxine's
have we met?
busty.
I'm Livers, the butler.
Who cares
Livers.
about that? Why am I here?
Yes, Livers,
Foundeth thou sleeping after thou
the old
defeated
man there is
first
named
quench's
Ribson.
abominable roboteth,
Um,
so broughtest thou to
Oh, for
hither
Ribs.
roomest.
We're going,
Oh, yeah,
one of the
that baby
NPCs
was
we're going to
so
rescue
okay.
as
He
part of my
kidnapped the
100% completion
princess.
run of this game is a shepherd named
Geezer,
Shepherd
do I have
Beefalo.
to save the princess to go back to my world?
You know the funny thing is,
Beest correcteth.
I know it's supposed to be
However,
fun or
they
shepherd's
will
pie.
not sitteth around
I've never
quietly.
had that before.
They willeth come hither.
But it's
for
really
Lumina.
good.
And yeah, I saw that
Something special
posture
about
check. I
Lumina?
straightened myself up.
Indeedeth.
I saw.
Legendary Brave Fencer
I know,
Musashi
right?
used Lumina,
He's
the
a
sword
man,
of
Booba.
luminescence, to sealeth away the wizard of darkness. And when it absorbs all the 5 scrolls, earth, water, fire, wind, and sky, thou doth will
The sky
inherit
thing is a bit of
destroy
localization
powers.
kerfuffle. In the Japanese version, it was either like the Holy Scroll or the Spirit Scroll. Can't remember which. But Square
where can I
Enix's
get my hands on the
localization
5 scrolls?
department decided to change it to Sky.
If only our
They might have been
fortune-teller see
working
a
with
beaver
Nintendo
there,
because
she'll
you know
know.
how.
Well, no, this is
Yeah,
this
some
was
handsome
developed
dude,
solely
huh?
for PlayStation.
No,
Even
she
then,
was kidnapped.
mentioning things the Polly and stuff
What?
like that was
So
kind
the
of
princess is not
risque.
the only
And yet
one?
there's a church in the town.
Actually, there
That is
were 40
explicitly
people
referred
at
to as a
Old
church.
Palace. Now there are only 5 left.
They also referred to Sunday as Sky Day.
In all directions.
Oh my goodness.
Pincho Fields?
I have no
What are they?
answers for
Are
that.
they the Thirst Quencher Empire's doing?
Yes,
So there's a
I
little bit of
saw it
collectathon
myself.
elements to this game, with our main
Everyone
collectible
was
being
sealed
villagers
into
trapped
large
inside
green
Bincho
diamonds
fields
and
that
then
we have
just
to rescue
poof,
by breaking the
vanished.
fields open. We'll come across plenty of them soon enough.
So I guess
There's,
one of them was the
I believe,
fortune
like
teller, right?
30 or 40 of them
So
total.
that
Yeah.
means I have to save not only the
Do you think
princess, but everyone
Dark
else
Cloud
too.
was inspired
Sir
by
Musashi,
Brave Fencer
I knew
Musashi
that
and
thou would
Legend of
help
Zelda?
us.
I've never played Dark Cloud,
Thou
so I
mayest
couldn't tell
break
you.
Pincho
Oh,
Fields easily
it's a
with
fun
Lumina.
game.
Oh, and
I have
these
both
will
Dark
help
Cloud
thou.
1 and 2 on PS4 and 5. I just haven't played them yet.
Let me know if you ever get to it. I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
And there's a little bit of simulation elements to this, where Musashi regularly needs to sleep, or else he starts moving slower and starts dealing less damage. You can either rest in inns or in your room to
Sir Musashi.
sleep, which passes time by 8 hours.
Foot of this castle.
Or, if you're really desperate and you don't want to backtrack all the way to
Before
either
thou
the
goest,
inn
thou
or
should
to
do
your
some
bedroom,
research in the
you can take a
castle's
nap
library.
on the ground that you're currently on, which will not restore your tired meter all the way, but also restores some health and is like, you know, a quick way
I'll go hit the
to
books
get yourself less
Good
tired,
lucketh,
but
Sir
leaves you
Musashi.
open to attack.
I
Yeah.
forgot
Because,
to
you know, you're
mention-
sleeping in the middle of a
It
field.
is yours, so use it as you wish.
And yeah, Dash Cat, you
Please
explained it
take
a lot
care
better.
of
Any
your
religion
journey,
and kids media was censored.
Yeah.
A better way of
Yeah.
saying it than what I was saying.
Yeah, Sony at this time was kind of following Nintendo's model of scrubbing out religious references in games at least targeted towards kids. Final Fantasy VII still has like the holy materia in it.
Well, you see,
But,
my job for now is to
and it
read
still
these
has the
books
church,
for
but that
you.
was not a kid's game. That was teen rated
Yeah.
and was
Closer.
marketed towards an older demographic.
Yeah. Just
Also,
like
Scribe
how,
Shanky is definitely a product of his time, given that they gave him the effeminate gay voice, and he always refers to Musashi as just so handsome.
But
Yeah.
his name is Shanky?
His name's Shanky.
Scribe Shanky to be precise.
Scribe
Why did
Shanky.
You know he was in prison, right?
I think it's referring to like a shank of meat.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, like a leg shank. But I think it's more fun to think prison.
I mean, given that he keeps on gushing about how attractive this kid is,
Yeah.
Yeah. belongs in prison. They're not like us and don't want to be in Cell Block 1, etc., etc. You know the lines.
I don't, because I still haven't heard that song. I'm not invested in the Drake drama, because I do not give a shit about Drake. I know he's a shit person, that's all I need to know. Also, for this game that's trying to scrub religious references by changing, like, Spirit or Holy or whatever it is to Sky, they still have a place called Hell's Valley.
Yeah, that was actually kind of common.
In this rated E for everyone game.
Believe it or not, I believe that was still, well, not common, but...
Was that enough?
Acceptable, I would say.
Well, he is a part of the church, so that seems accurate. Yeah, that's the best take on it. That's the reason why he's not in prison, because he's part of the church.
Then, you should go down to the village. Well, let's see.
Dash Cat over here breaking the code.
The gondola is broken. Oh, I know. Use both of your big swords.
Oh!
Lumina and Fusion?
No!
Oh, yes. You can go along the gondola's ropeway and glide down to the village.
This palace must be pretty high up on the mountain. I'll take your advice. Thanks.
No! Don't!
What he's going to do is zip line down the ropeway that the gondola is supposed to be on, but the gondola's broken. So this is our only way to get down to the village. And it is amazing.
I'm with Dash Cat. I don't like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Behold.
No. Watch out for that tree.
And he sticks the landing!
Oops.
Let's see what I can find out. But first, I'm kind of hungry.
Speaking of oops, he broke it. During that part where he meets Rutrick for the first time, he breaks through the wall instead of opening the gate. And if you look in the background of that scene, you can see like a Looney Tunes style outline of where he crashed through the wall.
That I did not notice, but I did notice how he just like crashed into a wall.
I was looking for the Uchi Broken thing.
So this is our main hub world, Grill and Village. Everything is connected to here in some way or fashion. It's got shops. The shops follow a weekly schedule, being open at certain hours of the day and being closed on certain days.
Welcome! Are you new to this area?
Yeah, I'm Musashi. I'm staying at the palace.
Yeah, this game's very charming, and I would love to see it get some sort of either remake or remaster, or even just like a PSN release. It's never been re-released outside of Japan, where it was released on the PlayStation 3's PSN service.
It really is a hidden gem.
That's why I'm never selling my copy, because I got it complete. Well, aside from the fact it's autographed, I got it complete in box for $40, and it easily goes for over 150 in that condition now. So we're gonna buy the bagel. This is the bakery. They sell bread and milk.
So, she's got bagels.
Whoop! Yes, she's got bagels. And that is not to be confused with the grocery store.
Welcome.
You know,
seen you
mine.
I'm Musashi.
I like the detail that Musashi introduces himself to all the villagers when he first speaks to them.
Have you met my son, Tim? And what do you need?
Like, this is 90s as hell voice acting in the best way.
Yeah, I like her voice. It actually comes off as, like, the strong woman. I love that voice.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know if she's a single mother or anything, but she comes off as a strong
we know she's a mother, because her son is one of the NPCs in this town.
Yeah.
There he is right there, Tim.
Yo, I'm Tim. My mom owns the grocery. Who the heck are you?
I'm Musashi. Nice to meet you. Whoa, what a brat.
Little boys shouldn't be playing with swords. I'm gonna tell
Go ahead.
you.
And then there's also Mint. She's the daughter of the hotel owner, whose name is Hotello.
I'm Musashi. Why do you have a basket on your head?
It's not a basket, silly. It's a knight's helmet. Tim has a legendary helmet.
I like them.
That's not foreshadowing. It just goes nowhere. There is legendary armor in this game, the legendary armor of Musashi, which is in 5 pieces, but Tim has nothing to do with any of it.
Well then. What am I fighting for?
Bob, my grandson, are you going to help Granny with the groceries?
You know, that girl who ran the bakery, I don't know why, but I get the feeling she's in a real jam.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh, little fart noise I made didn't work.
Anyways, we have to talk to the mayor.
No.
Yes. His name's
Govern.
Mayor Govern.
Oh God.
It's like, and the governor of this place must, by that extension, be named Governor Mayor. Are you going to mug me? Don't be stupid. My name's Musashi. I'm looking for the 5 scrolls. The 5 scrolls? Do you mean that sword on your back is? Oh, this? It's a sword called Lumina. Lumina, the legendary sword? And your name?
There it goes,
Musashi?
And he missed it.
There is a bar that you can go to. It's one of the most uncomfortable places in the game because the waitress hits on Musashi and says, "You're my type," and always refers to him as baby.
Oh,
I mean, in the Japanese version, it's implied that Musashi might not be a kid. He might just be like a very short adult, but that is completely lost in the English dub.
Yeah.
Also, I like that as sort of a verbal tick, Musashi refers to everyone as pal. So we have to find the beloved town dog, whose name is Leno.
As in...
Yes, as in Gray Leno.
I mean, I was gonna say Jay Leno, but yep.
I mean, we all know Gray Leno is the superior talk show host.
Yeah.
Haven't seen you around before, young man.
This is an example of what I'm talking about with, like, this guy is someone you never need to talk to, and they still gave him voice dialogue for his introduction.
Nice.
Same with this guy here.
Sunshine.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
So before we can go to the mountain to rescue the dog, we need to find the guard who's supposed to be stationed at the mountain's entrance, because he's gone missing and has been replaced by the bouncer from the bar and will not let us in.
By the way, I
was wondering the same thing,
You look
Dash
like
Cat.
the farmer was beating you with the hoe.
Because Ho's mad.
Oh, even Dash Cat. I saw in the chat. Dash Cat does the same thing.
This is a Bincho field, which is, you'll find, whenever you see one of these, you hit it with Lumina, and it frees whoever's trapped inside. Some of them are required for progression, others give you optional stuff. This is the guard we need to rescue to get into the mountain, for example. And every time you free someone, your magic meter goes up by 5 points. So there's a gameplay benefit other than, you know, just getting access to more stuff. Also, your stats level up, like, you have multiple stats that level up, like, your Fusion and Lumina stats level up as you use Fusion and Lumina, respectively. Mind levels up, as you, travel, and Body levels up as you defeat enemies. Body, increases your defense. Mind increases, decreases defense. Body increases your base damage. And Fusion and Lumina provide specific strength bonuses to each sword.
Like,
Now, I could immediately go to the mountain to rescue Leno, but there's some stuff here I like to do first, just to get some potential backtracking out of the way. Other than, you know, grinding my stats a bit. So we're going to assimilate this hopping flower to get the hop skill. And with this, we can get over the thorny vines and get deeper into the forest.
Interesting. That's really shit. Oh.
Yeah, time passes in real time, although it's pretty fast. Like, a day's over in a couple minutes. And certain events only happen at certain times of day. In fact, getting a bit ahead of myself, one of the keys to getting into the final area of the game is to be there at a specific time on a specific day.
And Dash Cat, when you mentioned the bouncer, in one of the Final Fantasy groups I was in,
the bouncer.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and I even said that, yes, it's mediocre and normal, but for a launch title, it's decent, you know.
Yeah, the problem is, it was a $50 game that had only a $20 game's worth of content.
Yeah. It really should have been released for at most $30. And people would have loved it for that, you know?
Yeah, it had Tetsuya Nomura doing the character designs, and I don't know if I don't think he directed that one, but he did work on it.
That's why
I believe
his name is Shion looks like Sora.
That's also why one of the characters in The Bouncer looks like one of his designs from, I believe it was Final Fantasy VIII.
Final Fantasy 13 2.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played either Final Fantasy VIII or The Bouncer.
I mean, technically, there is one. It's a fusion of
and you're right, it is referenced in Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Dog Street shirt. Also, Clown Weenie is an unfortunate name for a clown.
Yeah.
Clown Weenie sounds like something you would see performing together with that clown that everyone was horny for from Ace Attorney.
Honk honk. By the way, I think
you don't want to know what you don't want to know what part of him honks.
Maybe I do.
Hey,
but joking aside, if I'm not mistaken, I think the world ends with you was also Nomura.
Yeah, it was. That's why it's a very big part of Dream Drop Distance. Like, aside from Kingdom Hearts, World Ends With You is Nomura's baby.
Yeah.
It's like the other thing he's really passionate about, and will insert references to wherever he can.
Like, I have The World Ends With You, but I'm personally not a fan of it because
I've never played it myself, but from what I've heard, it's a game that really is meant to be played with a touchscreen. And if you're playing any of the later console ports, you're not getting the good experience. Like, it was built for the DS, so the best way to play it is on a DS emulator or something like that.
That's what I have it for. I'm just not good at multitasking for the two screens. That's a me problem, and I can fully admit it, you know?
The second best way to play it, other than, on original hardware, would be if you have a hacked Wii U, like yours truly, and use it to do a virtual console inject to trick it into running the DS-ROM using the Wii U's native virtual Nintendo DS emulator. Final Fantasy 13 is also its baby so much that it's got integrated into Kingdom Hearts. That's interesting. I played the whole Kingdom Hearts series, and I haven't seen many, if any, references to 13 in it. It's not like there was a big mainline Kingdom Hearts release after 13 until like Dream Drop Distance and then 3.
If you, Dashka, if you can tell us some more about that, I honestly.
Oh, Versus 13. Okay, yeah, the one that became 15. That was the game he never got to actually make. Yeah, the whole Yozora and Verum Rex thing from Kingdom Hearts 3 is like Nomura trying to make his vision for Versus 13 a reality.
The rumor is that they are going to make that as a actual game. That's being the rumor.
I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But given how little progress seems to have been made, publicly at least, on Kingdom Hearts 4, I would prefer that they not put him on another project on top of Kingdom Hearts 4 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake saga.
Yeah.
Dude's working on too much at once. And it's not even stuff that he, volunteers to work on. Square just attaches him to these projects, and he doesn't know until they say at the announcements that he's directing it.
Yeah, they need to branch out more and have more.
Like, he didn't know he was directing Final Fantasy 13 until he saw the announcement trailer for it. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Sorry. I'm a bit frazzled today because I had to get up earlier than usual for a appointment.
Don't worry, you're the same. You're my friend. Excuse me.
That's partly why I decided to stream Brave Fencer Musashi tonight instead of Metal Gear Solid 3. Need something that doesn't require as much thought.
Yeah, something not as mentally taxing as
footage.
The beta footage of Kingdom Hearts 3 Noctis was based straight up the basics of Yozora's design. No, I haven't.
I haven't seen that either. I'm gonna take a look at that later.
But that tracks.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I've been meaning to replay the entire franchise. Well,
so have I.
The collection. I've been meaning to play that for a minute. And I still need to see Mishra's Dove video on Kairi.
Yeah, so do I. I've been behind on her videos. Mistress Dove's most recent video is like her doing her part for the Save Death Battle campaign, where it's her talking about her dream matchups on Death Battle.
Interesting. Like, I know for the Kairi thing, it's just my bias. I know it's very strong, and I want to be able to go in with a open mind, you know?
Yeah.
Again, it's a me issue I need to fix.
Well, another thing to know about Kairi's character is that a lot of the way she's written differs between the English dub and the original Japanese. Like, a lot of the problems that people have with Kairi's character are stuff that was introduced from the English localization that was not part of the original Japanese script.
Oh, really?
Gotta be, guys.
So yeah, we just saved Seer Beevely, which is important because she is going to be able to locate where she's an optional person to rescue, I believe. But she's key to finding the legendary armor pieces, most of which are optional, but you should go out of your way to get anyways. because they do provide some really substantial benefits. And we found an old crown, which needs to be appraised, which means we need to take it to the pawn shop. Which is not open on Mondays, but now it's Tuesdays, so we can take it there.
Nice. But yeah, like, a very human thing is being able to notify where you were wrong, you know? Like,
yeah,
I can admit, hey, yeah, it's my bias on this. I need to go in open mind. I want to be able to watch it with an open mind so I can fully enjoy the video, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think she would prefer me to go in with an open mind as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miss Dove is a awesome person, really.
Yes, she is. I've known her for a couple years now. And she is fantastic to work with. And just a delight to hang out with in the Discord calls I've been able to hang out with her in.
I've had, my interactions are very minimal, just because it's mainly toward Twitter. But yeah, they're very level-headed, which I really like that.
Also, she did something at MomoCon last year that makes me kind of jealous, twofold. First is she got to meet Rebel Taxi in person. And second is, when she met him, she threw a shoe at him. And recorded it. He was okay with it.
You know, it'd be hilarious if making a giant shoe the size of, like, I don't know, an Xbox Series X, and like, hey, can I throw this at you? Like toss it towards you, like, you know. I think that'd be kind of hilarious, and they also, like, you can have it as a prop if need be.
Also, she's a big Virgil fangirl. I believe she's cosplayed Virgil before. I say I believe because I've only seen one picture of her IRL when she was cosplaying. I believe it was Cassie Cage from Mortal Kombat.
I need to cosplay. I really need to be cosplaying in general.
Holy shit, I'm playing Virgil right now. Hell yeah! And in the Devil May Cry series of improv fan dubs, she voices Virgil. In fact, back during a brief period where I was supposed to be the one getting the footage for an eventual Devil May Cry 5 dub, which Devil May Cry 5, as you're probably aware, has a very active modding community. If you've seen my playthrough of Devil May Cry 5, you're certainly aware of that, for better or for worse. Need I remind everyone of the cursed object that is the Hololive Cerberus. But one of the mods she insisted on having me use, partly as a reference to herself IRL, and partly because it would just be an interesting thing to throw into our ongoing canon for the Devil May Cry improv fan dubs, was a mod that makes Virgil, when he finally appears at the end of Devil May Cry 5, trans. And basically transfemme Virgil.
I like it. And you want to know why? Trans rights.
Hell yeah. Okay, now, well, actually, Musashi's getting a bit tired, which you can tell by the indicator on the bottom right. The more closed up that gets, the more tired Musashi is.
Have no fear, Eggman's here.
How did you get past security?
Welcome. Oh, stay
I
here by
pretended
yourself?
I was about a soap. I gave them all the
I'm
slip.
Musashi. I'm on a journey.
You
Better
How
scramble
admirable for such a
then.
small child. You must be about the same age as my daughter Mint. Anyways, make yourself at home.
That voice sounds familiar.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone who's been in other stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of prominent voice actors in this game. Alright, so we'll use the nap room to recover some of Musashi's tiredness and only pass 3 hours of time.
Like, even going back to that voice I like, the mother.
Also, this is my favorite shop in the game, the toy store, where you can buy virtual action figures of the in-game cast to play with in your room.
Hello.
Not like Super Smash Brothers, oh, it's trophies to gawk at. Like, they have play features and accessories, and they come in packaging that you have to open.
Noise.
Yeah, I agree. That is adorable. I agree with you that.
Anyways, quickly... Oh, it's closed. Can't go to the pawn shop. Closes at 4 p.m.
Oh, crap.
But I can show you the bar/restaurant. It's really supposed to be a bar, but they call it a restaurant.
The food store.
Oh, jeez.
Is this your first time at a place
Why
like this, baby?
is she so sexual?
That's right. I'm Musashi. Nice to
You
meet
can tell even Musashi's uncomfortable.
No, nice to meet you. Have a nice time.
Also, the descriptions of the food is great. 93% freshly unsqueezed orange juice. 7% squeezed.
So wait, how do you? Wait. How do you get 7% of an orange and squeeze juice out of it?
That's the part. You don't.
Pea soup, made from green balls that resemble peas.
Wait. Does not compute.
Cake, 99% lard, 1% sugar.
Okay, that sounds absolutely normal.
Gravy, something brown and runny.
I mean, it's not raw.
Salad, no pesticides. Take care to pick out the aphids.
Oh god.
Lasagna, vegetarian lasagna, 100% artificial cheese.
That's vegan lasagna, not vegetarian lasagna.
It was the 90s, okay?
Yeah,
I know,
vegan wasn't
still.
really a phrase back then.
Pork chop, 50% pork, 50% tapeworms.
God, no.
And it's the most expensive thing on the menu.
Tapeworms cost more money.
Yes. It says 50% tapeworms. It doesn't say which 50% of the tapeworm you get.
I want 0% tapeworm.
Think about it this way. You can eat all the pork chops you want and still lose weight.
I will fight you. And in fact, we've been talking about Capcom fighting collection type stuff recently too. Hopefully soon.
Ma'am, please step away from the child.
Yeah, I even tried searching Musashi's age and it didn't pop up.
It's also because his age varies in between games. He's more of a kid in this game in his appearance and attitude, whereas in the sequel, he's more of a teenager.
So it's like 11, 10.
But yeah, since we're still out at night, well, first of all, I'm gonna grab some water from the well, because that's going to be important for later. I'm not going to bed. You cannot force me to obey the curfew. But there is stuff to do out at night, other than go to the restaurant, which is once it hits midnight, there's specific areas in the map where a nocturnal creature... This is one of the markings for where they'll spawn. It's their dung.
Looks like animal dung. Wonder if something's
Why is
nearby.
it pink? But yeah, wait until midnight, which will be in probably just a couple, like less than a minute with how fast time goes in this game.
Yeah. Pink gun, by the way, is common in games. Remember Digimon?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
And I believe Dr. Slump did that too.
I think it was a way to get past sensors, you know.
Anyways, wait until midnight, which there. Oh, not even midnight. There's a Minku. You have to chase them, and it's kind of a bitch to pick things up in this game because you have to be like right on their ass and press the attack button. There we go. You eat it, and you get a berry that increases your maximum health.
Nice.
There are 13 of these in the world, and if you find and capture all of them, you get an optional super boss fight against the Mother Minku.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's why I wanted to go out at night, as Spinge Bill would say.
By the way, I'm technically grilling away from my PC at night.
At night. Yes, now I will... You know what? Why would I go to the inn to sleep where they charge me to sleep when... This is like one of the things... Like, you go to the inn to save. That's the reason you keep going there. Or if you just need to pass a few hours. But if you go here... Takes you right back to the castle.
Nice.
The entrance to the castle, where you can go to your room and sleep for free, and recover all of your health and magic, and pass 8 hours of time, is right next to the inn.
Nice. That's funny.
But before I go to sleep, I have to play with my new toys.
As you do.
Ooh.
Yeah, these are not just like 3D models of the in-game characters, because these are special models just for the toys.
They put a lot.
And they each have at least one or two action features.
They put a lot of love in this game. You can clearly see this.
Yeah, for some reason, the localization refers to him as a fencer instead of a samurai. Even though his fighting style is very much not fencing.
Yeah. You hear the word Brave Fencer Musashi or Brave Samurai Musashi? Fencer kind of rolls off the tongue more, so I'm wondering if that's the case.
And then here's our toy of the first boss, the Steam Knight. I like that it's not like, oh, it detaches the ball from its fist. It's like, no, it's spring-loaded.
Yeah.
Because it's a toy.
That's a nice little touch.
God, imagine if they actually sold Musashi action figures. But no, that would require Square Enix to do something with this IP.
You know, it would be hilarious if they had as much junk and as much praise we're giving it. If the next PlayStation, whatever their State of Play, I think it is, right?
State of Play is what they do, yeah.
Yeah, if we end up getting a remake or something, and they actually start bringing out some of the toys, I think that would be kind of.
I mean, it would be a better idea than when they hyped up people for a potential new Parasite Eve game just for it to turn out to be some unrelated NFT garbage.
Oh god. I mean, the Japanese culture thing would make sense because Pokemon with a
well, you say don't want to reference Japanese culture, But one of the puzzles in this game to progress requires you to learn how to play shogi.
Wait, you don't play shogi?
Most Japanese people don't know how to play shogi, my dude.
No, that's not you know how to play shogi.
No, they teach you in-game.
Oh.
Like, one of the books that you later unlock for the library is a manual on how to play shogi. So you can figure out the correct path to go down to get to the third dungeon. Sadly, there are no kitties to pet in this game, but there is a dog that we still need to rescue. He's been trapped there for 3 days. He'll be fine.
I kind of want to learn how to play shogi, honestly.
There we go. There's the pawn shop. I need to go to the pawn shop so I could show you the running gag with most of the treasures that you find.
Who are you?
I'm Musashi. What a disgusting shop.
Be quiet. What do you want anyways?
All right, so whenever you need something appraised, it can be one of either two things. It can either be a piece of legendary armor, or it can be vendor trash. And I mean literal vendor trash. Like this old crown. Let's see then. Yes, I see. Amazing! Cake pan.
Oh, God.
How the fuck does... How did...
And then all you can do with it is sell it.
How the fuck does an old silver crown end up being a cake pan?
Because it was never a silver crown to begin with. Musashi didn't know what it was, so he had to take it to the pawn shop to figure out what it was. And it turned out to not be an old crown. It was a cake pan.
Okay. Have you seen the old cake pans and how it has the ridges, right? That's my guess.
Okay,
it's like the old-fashioned, old-fashioned cake pans, which I think I might still have some in my attic.
By the way, something you have to keep in mind with buying food in this game, especially bread, will spoil over time.
Oh, wow.
There is one piece of grocery food or bakery food, I can't remember which one you buy it at, that you can buy that gets better with age, and it's cheese. The effect gets more powerful the longer it's in your inventory.
Interesting.
Okay, so now we can go to the mountain and rescue the doggo.
I'm gonna BRB just so I can check on the chicken on the grill.
Okay. No, let the dog die. How dare you? How dare you imply that a dog should die? Not all dogs are good boys. Some of them are good girls. But they are all good in their own way.
Yep. I mean, after all, if that Don Bluth movie is anything to say, all dogs go to heaven.
If the PC version, if the PC game based on that movie is anything to go by, do not play it because it will destroy your speakers. If all dogs go to heaven, I just went to hell. As Joel famously said. Like, if you don't know the All Dogs Go to Heaven PC game, which I wouldn't blame you for, it was before even my time, like, fucking early PC game days, before PCs had dedicated sound cards and they just used a built-in speaker that could only produce beeps to make sound. Because, believe it or not, early PCs were not meant to play video games, but whoever made the All Dogs Go to Heaven PC game for MS-DOS or IBM PCs back in the 80s or whenever was like, you know what? We want speech and music from this musical comedy animated family movie to be in our PC game on a platform that cannot do speech or music. So we're going to find a hacky way to make speech and music play through the speaker that can only produce beeps, and the result is the most compressed audio you've ever heard that's also disturbingly loud. Like, it doesn't sound like speech. It sounds like the sounds of hell.
Well, here goes nothing.
Look up the clip of Vinesauce Joel playing that game briefly during a DOS Madness night where he was supposed to be playing just Alien-themed games, but he had the ROM for it under the name Alien Dog, because a lot of games back in the early PC days were easy to pirate and distribute, and would often be distributed under fake names. And he was caught off guard by how terrible the sound is in it. It didn't help that the game also glitched up and started flashing not vibrant colors, because it was monochrome, but started flashing a whole bunch of distorted graphics on screen while it screamed at him with low-quality audio.
Poor Joel. Poor Joel.
Hey, wait! Oh, well. Now that the mud is back, I can ask the mayor about the 5.
So yes, we rescued the doggo.
It
It might be a mutt. Mutt's not necessarily a bad thing. This sounds like a fucking horror story. It's like a creepypasta, except we have video evidence that happened.
Let's just say that I've heard people always refer to dogs as mutts in a very insulting manner. So
Well, mutt is supposed to refer to like a dog of unidentified or mixed breed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we saved the dog. He's kind of scraped up though. Okay, so now you can tell me about the 5 scrolls. Actually, I don't know very much about them, but in the outskirts of the village, you'll find a man locked up in the stocks. You should ask him. Oh yeah? The guy tricked me. Yeah, we just saved the dog so he could tell us to ask someone else.
Well, you know, it doesn't seem like he really gives a shit. He's just shaking his fist at you anyway.
Anyways, get ready for the most recognizable voice in the game other than Mona Marshall.
Ah, come here, boy. Yeah, that's a good boy. You all right?
Steve Bloom!
Save my boy.
That's Steve Bloom. Man. Oh my god, it is!
Really appreciate it. Man, do you have some water? And some bread? Haven't had anything to eat in 3 days.
Here you go, pal.
Yeah, if I didn't prepare and get the bagel and the water, then I would have to go back to the shops and the well at the right time to get the food and the water for him.
Hard on you.
Much better. I'm John, the treasure hunter.
Steve Bloom calling me a good boy made me feel some type of way. Oh, I've met Steve Bloom in real life before. He's a delight.
Well, to put it simply, I searched.
Also, the fact that he refers to the dog as my boy just it makes me want to imagine Steve Bloom reenacting the intro to Link: The Faces of Evil. My boy, this peace is what all true warriors strive for.
Wait a sec, Musashi. I want to show you my gratitude. I'll tell you a secret, but only if you set me free.
Keep in mind, this was before he had his breakout role as Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, I'll do it.
My man. Well, I left the key to the stocks in a grave in Meandering Forest, because I knew I'd get out someday.
Okay, so I should get the key then?
Yeah, but a nasty spell has been cast in Meandering Forest, and it won't be easy to find the graveyard. So, take my boy Leno.
I can listen to his voice all day, you and me both.
Well, a few days ago, I sent him to go get the key. But he went to
oh, so Leno's just as bad at pathfinding as my dog is. He was supposed to go into the forest to get the key, but instead he went the opposite direction and went into the mountain.
But he'll run away if he gets hurt. So keep it
Also,
on.
still my favorite Wolverine. He's up there for me. Like, I don't think Wolverine's ever had a bad voice actor.
That he barks?
That's it. So you guys should meet at the entrance of Meandering
He's
Forest.
like he's the go-to for a lot of projects for a reason, because he's just naturally a good fit for Wolverine's character. But I'll always, apart from my not so subtle crush on Scott McNeil, even though I've never heard his Wolverine, my soft spot for Wolverine voices is always going to be his voice from the 97 series. Because that was the first Wolverine. That was my introduction to Wolverine. Well, technically my introduction to Wolverine was in the PS1 game X-Men Mutant Academy, but that had the cast of the cartoon voicing them.
Funny thing is, before the 97 series, there was actually a pilot.
Yeah, where he was Australian for some reason.
Yeah.
It predicted Hugh Jackman, basically.
Apparently.
Yeah, it was a pilot called Pride of the X-Men, where it would have focused on Kitty Pryde as the central character instead of what they ended up doing for the animated series, where Jubilee is sort of our audience surrogate. In fact, the famous X-Men arcade game was based on that Pride of the X-Men pilot. That's why Wolverine has the brown costume in the arcade game instead of his iconic yellow and blue.
Night. No one can hear you scream.
You love the brown outfits more? That's a pretty spicy take. People are usually, to my understanding, people are ride or die on the yellow and blue. Although everyone agrees that Wolverine wearing black leather from the first few live-action movies is the worst outfit that he's ever had. And overall, that's just the worst outfit that the X-Men have ever had to wear. Because they're all just wearing black leather. And it doesn't fit the X-Men vibe. Although I will say, if they had Rogue in black leather, and it was the cartoon version of Rogue instead of the more boring movie version of Rogue, that would hit very different. You know, I like Southern Belle Rogue, not boring audience surrogate Rogue. Blue Crab, hello! Glad to see you back here.
I'm also
glad you enjoyed your previous time watching me enough to tune in again. That is Black and Road X4's outfit is sick, but red and black anything is great. Yeah, I blame Shadow the Hedgehog on me having black and red as one of my favorite color combinations. Which, fun fact that I learned about the design inspiration for Shadow the Hedgehog. Have you ever wondered why he has red markings on him, other than red being a naturally good pair for a majority black color scheme, to break up the monotone color?
What?
The specific red markings that he has are modeled after Kabuki theater, where the red markings that he has, especially around the eyes, and normally where you would see, like, red streaks in a wig for a Kabuki performance, are indicative of a tragic hero.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
So, if you're familiar with old Japanese culture, you could predict Shadow becoming a hero before he does. Like, I love when character design is able to tell you aspects about the character just through color choices. Or neat little design aesthetics. Yeah, he has small red markings right above his eyes that look sort of like eyeshadow. Or like the red paint that a Kabuki protagonist would have.
God damn it, Arzette.
Also, the thing is that Shadow is on fleek.
I would never say that, but sure. Alright, so we have to protect Leno while he guides us to the cemetery where the key is kept. Basically, imagine this being this game's equivalent to Lost Woods from Zelda, except you have a guide to take you through instead of having to use some context clues.
Yeah, the first time you, if you don't have Saria's song, it's done by sound.
Yeah. Well, Lost Woods and Ocarina of Time. Remember, the Lost Woods were also in the original Legend of Zelda, but in that game, you just had to figure out the correct series of screens to cross in the right order.
Yeah.
How dare those guys try to stab a dog? Agreed, that's why we're on guard duty for the dog. His name's Leno, and he is a good boy. Even if he did get lost and go the complete opposite direction of where he's supposed to, and we had to rescue him because he was stuck on the mountain. Also, he has the cutest little yap bark. He sounds like Widget.
Yep.
Aww.
I've met Widget IRL, so I can say that.
Yep. I mean, hell, you were...
I was here like I was there like a couple days after you got Widget.
Yeah.
And yes, this whole soundtrack is a bop. Just wait until we get to one of the final bosses in the game, which is a rhythm game. With, some really good, like, DDR-style techno music.
This is some Captain Rico Village shit right here.
Okay, so we found the key. Now we just gotta go back and free John.
But yeah, I also remember when you were here, we both took Widget to the vet, and we were waiting for a while. Poor baby was stuck in her crate and everything, and she was crying like crazy.
Yeah. Also, she kept trying to attack my shoelaces.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, shoelaces are evil.
Have you ever considered making your avatar bigger? I could do that right now. I mean, my avatar is actually kind of big already. It's just,
That's what she said.
Like, if you meant scaling it up a bit in the preview, yeah, I could do that, like I just did there. I just don't want to cover too much of the screen. That's personal preference in my layout, but if it makes for a better viewing experience, I can scale myself and my compatriots up a bit. But, like, in terms of the proportions of my model, when I made it in Vroid, I made it so it's, like, roughly 6'4", 6'5". And when I imported that into VR chat, it makes it so I just tower over everyone who has, like, normal to small size models. Oh, you can't see my face because I naturally slouch, and that makes me look down in the tracking.
Yeah, so you can actually get him to, fix himself.
Yeah, that's what the posture check is for, to make sure that I'm not slouching like I wanted to say like a cave troll, but
Gremlin?
No, not like a gremlin. Gremlins don't slouch. They sit like L from Death Note.
Technically, L does slouch, technically.
Yeah, but I mean, like, a gremlin just... I'm talking about the way he sits in chairs.
Yeah, he just perches in chairs. He doesn't sit.
Yeah, he doesn't sit. He perches. Alright, Musashi's starting to get tired, so he's moving slower. And if he gets too tired, he'll fall asleep on the spot.
Going by the way, L sits in his chair, you know how people joke around and say that, like a new buy chair reveal.
Gremlins and goblins don't need the slots. We just fit in small places. Yeah, because you are naturally fun-sized, I say. That's also why that's why yeah, I deserve that bonk. Also, hi, Death. Glad that you've been enjoying my streams, my recent streams, enough to keep tuning in pretty frequently, Death. I listened to your recommendation about checking out G Gundam, and I was disappointed to find out they don't have G Gundam on Netflix, it seems, but they did add Seed like a couple days ago, all the Seed series, so I could check those out.
I still need to watch Seed. I know there was a lot of controversy with it.
It's more, to my understanding, it's more so the sequels to Seed that people don't like rather than Seed itself. But even if people consider like Seed overall to be a weak point of the Gundam franchise, at least it's not SD Gundam Force, which is the only one I've seen an extensive amount of, as I've said before.
We don't talk about SD.
And at least SD... No. I specifically say SD Gundam Force because that's the bad SD series. There's some SD series that were only released in Japan that are supposed to be better.
You know what I mean, the American one.
Yeah. And, at least SD Gundam Force isn't 0079 The War for Earth, the FNV game that Rerez reviewed.
Oh, God. I am still mad you showed me that.
I found out it got a PlayStation port, but it's entirely in Japanese. So the only way to play the console version, well, there's two console versions. The other was released for the Apple Pippin, which who the fuck has an Apple Pippin? But, like, if you want to play it on the PS1, you've got to play this American-produced and developed game dubbed in Japanese with no subtitles.
I'm actually curious now. I'm gonna look some up.
Yeah, there's a Gundam FMV game, and it was the first piece of Gundam media to make it to America. And it was developed in America with American actors. It's basically a very bad FMV game recap of the first few episodes of Mobile Suit Gundam. Like, it covers the arc about trying to get White Base to its destination and get the mobile suit. Trying to get mobile suit to trying to get the prototype Gundam to the military. Like, it covers that and a couple encounters with Char, and then it just kind of stops.
In case you're wondering, a Apple Pippin goes anywhere from $700 to about $1,000 on eBay.
I'm not surprised, because just like the 3DO, it sold terribly, was overpriced, and didn't have a good software library. Do I play the Monster Hunter games? I've never played them myself. I do have one of them that I got as a Christmas gift a few years ago. If my cousin Cobalt Rogue is watching this, I'm sorry, bro. I just still haven't gotten around to playing that yet. He got me Monster Hunter World, and I've been interested in trying some of them out. I just know that Monster Hunter is something that I would need to, like, dedicate some time to. It's not something you can just... It's not, like, a huge dedication, like, you know, like, an MMO or a gacha game or something, but still something you don't really play in quick bursts.
The funny thing is, our mutual friend, Zero Gutter Sandwiches, I believe he got me Monster Hunter World also for Christmas. Haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I've heard that World is a good starting point for new players, because it is, like, as far as mainline Monster Hunter goes, it's one of the more user-friendly ones. Because, like, I knew it by reputation for a long time as being a series that is hard to get into before World came out and changed up the formula a bit. partly because the controls were really uncomfortable.
So I also have Rise, and I think I got that during a collection. I might get them mixed up. I'm pretty sure our mutual got me World.
Thanks, but someone.
It is after midnight. It's 5 in the morning.
Thanks, man.
Or does after midnight mean, is this some Gremlins bullshit where it's like, what counts as after midnight when you think about it?
Right?
Yes.
It was originally not portable only series. It started on the PS2. Then it went to the PSP for a while. Then it went to Nintendo for a bit with a Wii entry that got remastered on the 3DS, and then that got ported to the Wii U. It's a complicated history. Now it's just multi-platform outright, which is for the best. But part of its, I understand that part of its complicated controls for the first majority of entries were because they were exclusively released on the PSP, which doesn't have a second analog stick and doesn't have 2 sets of shoulder buttons. So they had to make do with the limited button and stick layout they had.
So Blue Crab is saying that both Rise and
Rise is also a good starting point. It's pretty easy. I'll keep that in mind. I've heard that Rise is like more, a bit more like action-y rather than focused on the grind. If you kind of get what I'm saying.
I have both.
Like, I've seen a bit of gameplay of, I believe it was Rise. Usually whenever I get to raid the Booba Fairy, she's usually, playing Rise. And if you don't know who the Booba Fairy is, tune into my streams and wait until we get to, wait until the once-in-a-blue-moon opportunity that I get to raid her on Twitch, because she usually streams on YouTube. She's a, I call her the Booba Fairy as a loving nickname. Her name's Ichika. She's a Japanese VTuber, Japanese indie VTuber, she's not just ridiculously busty in her model, she modeled her model after how she looks in real life. And I'm not talking about Cloud, but they do both have pink hair and massive booba. But Ichika is even more busty. I've seen pictures of her IRL. She is a natural R cup.
I can only imagine the stress that puts on her spine.
That's impressive. Yes, it is. She also has a spicy version of her model that she tends to stream with, and then has it conveniently censored by the naughty bits being cut off by the bottom of the screen. But yeah, I call her the Booba Fairy because she's also supposed to be a fairy. Like a forest fairy. Specifically, like her full title is Fairy Princess Ichika.
Someone might see.
But she also keeps getting shadow banned on social media sites because people think she's just a porn account.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, just who I was waiting for.
Or at least the algorithms do.
To the stocks.
Hold your horses. I'll get you out.
All right, we freed Steve Bloom.
All right. Thanks, man.
Sure. Now, how about the secret?
Actually, now that I think about it, she's not an R cup. She said that, based on her, she said, like, given that she said her model is modeled after her actual appearance in real life, that would mean she's now a U cup. So I understand some Japanese. I'm taking Japanese through Duolingo, but I would recommend and prefer, if I had the chance to, take a proper Japanese class rather than Duolingo. I enjoy her content, despite the language barrier, but she also does speak English pretty well, for a native Japanese speaker. I'm not anywhere near fluent in Japanese or even conversational in Japanese at this point. But I'm slowly learning things. I have more experience with French than I do with Japanese.
Bonjour, monsieur.
I mean,
bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur Kier. Comment ça va?
Taco?
Taco? Non. Comment ça va? Ça va bien? Ça va, comme ci, comme ça? Ça va? It's been years since I've taken French.
The rim gerga Bella.
Nah, try Spanish. I know one phrase in Spanish by heart, and it's a phrase that I learned specifically because it confuses and entertains Spanish speakers. And that phrase is, no hablo español porque yo tengo un vaso de agua.
Que aprende mi poquito español, mi amigo.
Shooting my shot. If you have Japanese questions that Google can't answer, DM you. I will keep that in mind. I would love to have some good answers for, like, so many of the questions about the Japanese language. Because Japanese is I want to say unique language, although a lot of its quirks are shared among just various languages in that region that are in one way or another derived from Chinese.
Yeah, just based on how I look, I get confused. Not confused, but people think I am Dominican and not black.
I mean, I'm literally 99.9% white, and I have grown up in the American South my whole life. I was born in Texas, and I was raised in North Carolina, and I have had multiple people say that they think I'm from somewhere in Europe, based on me having an accent that's not befitting of a Southerner.
But, yeah, you know, Ari and I actually both know a little bit of Italian.
Yes, scusi, baba da whoopie?
E cosa?
Baba da whoopie? Baba da beeba da baba da baba da.
What's that pazzo? That's
Oh, pa-beep, pa-ba, pa-beepy.
Hey, Shadow Dragon.
Also, hi, Shadow Dragon.
The funny thing is, I do have interest in learning Italian authentically.
Oh, I do too, solely because of that new Hololive girl, Raura Panthera. It wasn't until I heard her that I realized how beautiful of a language Italian is.
The reason I wanted to learn is...
Or at least how beautiful it can be when spoken by someone with a nice voice. I'm more used to more gruff sounding Italian. Or, you know, Charles Martinet.
One of the ladies I used to work with, I joked around and called her my at-work mom. She was part Italian. And she always teased me saying, because you know how the stereotype is you talk with your hands a lot?
Yes, I am aware. That's my excuse for that's part of my excuse for why I talk with my hands a lot. It's totally not the autism. It's the fact that I'm 0.2% Italian.
I have two reasons. Okay. She teased me about it and said I'm part Italian because I talk with my hands a lot. The reason I talk with my hands a lot is because my grandfather and for the speaking. Like even right now, I'm talking with my hands.
All right, so
just
to get you caught up on what we're doing here, we're going up the mountain while collecting 4 logs along the way. We haven't found the first log yet, but they're impossible. I would say impossible to miss, but I'm sure someone has missed them at some point.
I'm pretty sure I would miss them.
But yeah, you know, here I believe you were. I would believe your claim that you were talking with your hands right about now if you had hands to talk with.
Just chop a tree down if you want a log. That's genuinely what we're going to be doing. We just have to find the 4 trees that are growing in this whole mountain.
Take a shit.
Not that kind of log. We want wooden logs. Make sure, and I made sure to say wooden logs instead of saying we need wood. Because, you know. Good day for the sequel to Capcom Fine Collection Sonic 3 trailer. I was more excited for the Sonic 3 trailer than anything else today. Because they've been edging us with that for a year.
Have a good one.
Like that movie is out in December and we're just now getting a trailer for it.
So yeah, I'm excited for that because I used to play these games as a kid. So I'm excited.
Like, I'm not much for Capcom fighters. I prefer, like, Tekken, Soul Calibur, Blaze Blue. I've never played Guilty Gear, but I'm sure I would like that, too.
I would. I've played it.
One of my personal favorites, even though it's objectively a bad fighting game, is Evil Zone, which I have to show to you guys on stream sometime. It's a riot. There we go, my favorite NPC, Shepherd Beefalo. Call me Shadow the way I'm gonna edge on that hog. I mean, he is at least 50 years old minimum. So what you're saying is you're into gilfs, or grandfathers I'd like to fuck. In this case, instead of grannies.
This part makes me...
No, wait, no. In that age range, he could still be a DILF. Even though I'm pretty sure, like, my headcanon, as far as, like, you know, so many... Like, yes, I used to be one of those people that shipped him with Rouge, and I still think, like, they would make for a cute couple, but my headcanon is that Shadow is Ace. Like, just has no, interest in... I view him as Arrow Ace, just no interest in romance or sex.
Oh, same here.
Although he has confirmed that he will marry you on the spot if you can cook him food that is just like the food that was served on the Space Colony arc, and are able to keep up with his 20-step skincare routine. You had canon that he's gay. Well, even if he is Arrow Ace, he's still definitely gay for Sonic.
Oh, hell yeah.
They've got a whole fomance going on there.
Next time there's a Twitter takeover, I'm gonna put a message in there saying, "Hey Shadow, I heard you had a 20-step skincare routine, but have you tried the 30 steps?"
No. We need to find out what the steps of that skincare routine are. Shadow is just a weirdo in the Twitter takeover. Yes, and I love it. He is just a weird gremlin man. He eats coffee beans by the handful because they're delicious and crunchy.
I don't know how.
Also, just to kind of break your brains a bit about the current Sonic voice cast, Shadow's current voice, who's been voicing him for over a decade now, is also the voice of Gabumon from Digimon.
One of my favorite characters, by the way.
In fact, up until the Adventure reboot in 2020, he was the only person to be in every English dub of every Digimon series and movie. Because they brought back none of the original cast for the Adventure reboot, unfortunate. Well, I say unfortunately, it was a different take on the show, so it makes sense that they wouldn't bring back people who are 20 years older now to play kids. Yeah, he also voices Orbot. And there was a British animated movie called The Queen's Corgi, where he voices, at the time, President Donald Trump.
I remember that.
which gives us the beautiful image of the official voice of Shadow the Hedgehog saying, "Now go grab some puppy."
I didn't watch, I didn't Saber Spark do.
I only saw that in Saber Spark's review. Apparently that movie has 2 dubs, one for the UK and one for international audiences. That's actually pretty common in UK-made animated movies. They'll record a separate dub for Americans. And even American movies, American animated movies that get released in the UK will sometimes record alternate voices for certain characters just for UK audiences. Like in Shrek 2, when you have the character that's voiced by and modeled after Joan Rivers covering the red carpet gala. You know, the red carpet entrance of Sorry, Musashi interrupted me. Covering the red carpet appearances of all the fairy tale characters and the fairy godmother and Prince Charming and all of them. In the UK version, because they don't have that cultural attachment to Joan Rivers, they replaced her with a different, like, daytime gossip show host that that British audiences would be more familiar with.
It's funny you mentioned that because apparently Guild PC Game Spy Fox.
Yeah, Spy Fox had a different dub entirely in the UK than it did in America, where instead of Spy Fox sounding like Maxwell Smart, he sounds, you know, like James Bond.
Yep.
Not like a specific James Bond, just British spy.
Yeah, and honestly, it just didn't feel right for me. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't see Spy Fox as a James Bond type. He's definitely more inspired by Get Smart than James Bond.
Yeah.
Found the 4th piece of wood.
Yes, now we've got 4 woods.
If you don't find a tiger.
There, we chopped down all 4 trees on this entire mountain. The ecosystem's going to be fucked.
Very.
I was about to say the economy is going to be fucked, but no, the economy in this game is fucked to begin with. If you can sell a cake pan for 200 gold coins.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And the secret?
Well, it's about the legendary armor.
Legendary armor? So it's not about the 5 scrolls? You mean I came here for
Like
nothing?
in real life.
What a waste
In both ways. In both economy and ecosystem, yes.
Hold on. Your name's Musashi, right? Do you know about the legend of Brave Fencer Musashi?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, man, it's said that there are 5 pieces of legendary armor that Brave Fencer Musashi left behind.
Tell me more, Steve Bloom. I could
has
listen to you
unique
exposit all day with that sexy, sexy voice of yours.
For these logs? What a nice guy.
No. One of them is hidden somewhere at the bottom of this river. That's what these logs are for. We're gonna build a raft.
Great idea, pal. Uh-oh. Better not tell him I can't swim.
Okay,
Enough
it's
with
done.
the fun.
Off you go, Musashi. Good luck on your new journey.
I had to, because no one did it. I had to.
All right, time for a mini game. We have to ride the raft and avoid hitting stuff. If we hit 4 things, we die. Because every time we hit something, we lose a log.
That makes sense.
I actually knew. I just like listening to your voice, Musashi.
No.
I mean, you know, all sexiness of Steve Bloom aside, he does that. The voice he uses for John in this game is very soothing. Like, hear me out. Get Steve Bloom to do ASMR.
Perfect timing here.
Yes to the no, and also yes that we these people.
How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones?
You may be entitled to financial compensation.
Sorry for the lack of commentary. I need to focus here. That's my first death.
Huh?
What?
End already?
The end already?
He has multiple game over quotes. Also, this is the game that taught me what reincarnation is, because that's one of his game over quotes. He's like, if I get reincarnated, I want to be Musashi again.
Are you okay over there, dear?
I'm sorry, I just find that funny the way it needs to be.
Yeah, I fucked up that run so much that I took the death intentionally. No, you clearly didn't go far enough. You barely made it through the river.
Maybe I went a bit too far. No, you didn't go far enough, kid.
Honestly, he's real for that. Yes, he is. If I get reincarnated, I want to be the same person I was before I died.
How do you dodge that?
You have to know what's coming and swerve out of the way.
Something that definitely could help with this game would be like the Boulder Shadow.
Or even just have Musashi do like a hey look out thing like he does in the opening chase sequence where he tells you to jump when you need to jump.
That too.
Basically, I'm saying Mega Man 8 had the right idea.
Jump, jump, slide, slide. Jump, jump, slide.
Such a short life.
Do I make the short joke or not?
Honestly, I'd say more than 10.
Also, I just remembered you can jump over stuff in this. Don't ask me how a raft jumps.
Very carefully.
You keep creating a time paradox, sorry.
It's not a time paradox, it's a time loop. There's a difference. Basically, this is what we in the time travel story fandom call a Groundhog Day loop.
I mean, I'm a time travel story fandom. Well, I've never heard anybody use the term Groundhog Day loop.
Oh no, not in. It's a regional dialect.
What region?
Upstate New York.
Really? Well, from Utica, I never heard anybody use the term Groundhog loop, time loop, Groundhog Day loop.
Oh, not in Utica. No, it's an Albany expression.
I see. You know, looking at it, I don't see any record as ever being a thing.
Shadow Dragon's right. It is a continuum. Well, no, it's not the continuum shift. It's the continuum shift was when Terumi disrupted the flow of time, so it was no longer stuck in a loop. I think, right? It's been a while since I played the early Blaze. It's been a while since I played Blaze Blue in general.
I know the anime had Rachel
The anime condensed the entire first game story into 2 episodes, and that is the least of its problems.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just... As a Kingdom Hearts casual fan, Blaze Blue is way too confusing.
I mean, it makes sense if you're able to track down the stuff, the important story details that were only released in Japan.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you're trying to follow it officially here in the West, you miss out on most of the stuff you have to know. You're getting EP head to bed night, guys. Have a good night, Dash Cat. Probably gonna wrap things up here soon, because I'm getting a bit EP as well.
Yeah, same. The bomb is tired.
You guys are getting EP and tired. I am EP.
The bomb is tired. He's EP.
I'm EP.
All right, even Musashi's getting tired, you see?
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up, get some coffee. Get some coffee, here's a monster.
There actually is an item that reduces your tired meter, and it's not coffee, believe it or not. It's a mint.
Welcome.
Oh.
Make yourself at home.
I mean, mint does refresh.
Mint does perk you up a bit, so that's a neat detail.
Yeah, it refreshes you, so that's nice.
I'll let you hold my hand and we can do other
that was patting your shoulder.
my head pats on each hand.
Fucking hell, I'll pat your damn head now. Stop joking me.
All right, just gotta save real quick. Then we'll bring that up and get out of the void. 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 Void.
What voice is I doing? Lord have mercy.
I don't think he will.
Continuum shift allows for possibilities to never happen, so I think you're right. Yeah, that's why I thought it was. Because my first Blaze Blue game was Continuum Shift. Not even Continuum Shift Extend, just vanilla Continuum Shift. So, you know, horrible place to start.
Yeah, same here. I think we played that
Horrible
together.
place to start in terms of narrative, at least. Good place to start in terms of gameplay. No raid targets online tonight unless anyone decides to redeem a Guide the Raid. All right, time's up. So I'm going to end things here. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night with Tomb Raider, the original 1996 game. Until then, unpleasant dreams.
Well, the boys have caught us. We hope you like our show. We know you're rooting for us, but now we have to go.
Good night, everybody.